Hi, I'm Jen Spencer, and this is Jen Spencer's 10-Minute Book Club. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Groundhog's Day, if that's something you celebrate. Today, we have a great author, Diane Darcy. She writes time travels and some contemporaries, and you're just going to love hearing from her. If you make a comment or ask a question in the comment section below, you will be entered to win an ebook of Alice, which is Diane Darcy's newest book from the Ghosts of Culloden Moor series. So we're going to talk about it, and I know you're going to want to get it. So I'm so excited to introduce to you Diane Darcy. Hi, Diane. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you today. Diane and I are old friends, but we probably haven't talked for 5 years. I don't know. It's been a long time. Tell us just about yourself.
Okay. Well, I am an empty nester now. I've got 4 kids, but they're all, off doing their own thing at the moment. And so I was writing the whole time I was raising them. And then about the time everybody left home, self-publishing happened. And so I started doing that with the self-publishing, and I've been doing it ever since. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of learning, experiences and new things. And I have just really enjoyed it.
Well, I so admire people, and I'm, with this Jen Spencer, I'm launching into self-publishing, and I so admire people who can make it work and have really been successful at it. So I'm just really impressed. So how long have you been writing?
I started writing a little bit when my kids were young, so it's been a while. It was 1997 that I got serious. And by that, I mean, I had joined RWA like the year before, and I had started reading books on craft, and I had started writing, and I actually entered my first contest then and won first place. And so that kind of gave me the excitement to keep going.
Yeah.
And then, I eventually did a final for the Golden Heart with RWA. And so yeah, I had been writing for probably 10 years before self-publishing came along. And I'd had an agent, and I'd was sending out query letters. And I can remember one time I had started speeding up on those, so I was getting sort of a different type of response back. And one day I remember I got six in the mail responses, and I was so excited. I'm like, one of them has to be, no, they were all rejection letters. So it's a hard business. It can be a hard business. So self-publishing was like a really exciting thing for me when that happened, because I was ready for it.
Oh, that's great. And so you just kind of took the plunge and went into self-publishing. Has it been a huge learning curve?
Yeah, I mean, yes. Everything was new at once. When we first started out, Heather Horrocks and I used to get together, and we'd sit at the table and we would do HTML. This was before they had, I went through several different programs. We were so excited when things like Judo came out, and what else did I use? Anyway, I'm using Vellum now. But, back when it first started, we were doing, changing everything to HTML and publishing it that way. And so it was a huge learning curve, but luckily there's always somebody that's willing to write a book about it. So
true.
Yeah, I've been able to just kind of, okay, I asked my question and there's always somebody that has an answer for it.
So tell me, how many books have you written? And tell us about Alice that we're going to talk about today.
Let's see, I should have counted. I'm assuming I'm coming up on 40 now. Wow. I should be really close to 40 books. And that doesn't include, collections or things like that.
So, are they contemporary? What kind of books do you write?
I have written, I started out in women's fiction. That was where I first started. And then when I started, sending my stuff out to agents and editors, I was sending out to probably the wrong ones, but they kind of steered me more toward romance. So I started out with women's fiction. I've written contemporary romance fairy tales and westerns, and uh, written a mystery, like 3 mysteries. And then I ended up, where I ended up was time travel. So that's kind of the one that appealed to me the most. And I can actually remember, I was with a friend one time and we were discussing, what do we write next? I mean, it felt like agents and editors were always wanting whatever we wrote, it was yesterday. They wanted something else now, and so it was getting really frustrating. And finally I did have that epiphany of okay, there's no agents and editors anymore. No one's ever going to buy anything. I still want to be a writer. What would I want? What do I want to write? And it was time travel.
Mm,
And I think the reason that I wanted to do that was because um, I love fish out of water stories. Like
mm,
I absolutely just love them. And I feel like that's where you get the most comedy in in a movie or in a story or anything. Anytime, you've got somebody. So you take this girl and you send her back and to medieval England or something, and she's, the fish out of water, and they don't understand each other. And that just really, the dialogue just seems to flow easily in a situation like that for me, because I think it's funny. So I throw 2 people together, I watch what they do, and I laugh. So that's kind of
that's so fun. So Alice, I bet is that part of the
Now,
Ghosts of
Alice is
Culloden
part of
Moor?
the Ghosts of Culloden Moor series. So,
Yeah.
a few years back, Leslie we both were writing medieval time travel, and she wrote the first story and we actually, I can remember going up to the library with her, and she was telling me about the story, and I was like, yeah, that's not good. Whatever. Then she wrote it and she sent it to me, and I actually wasn't even really intending to read it. I just started to read it, read the whole thing in one sitting, loved the whole idea. And so when she asked me if I would write some of the stories, I was more than willing to do it. I was really excited to do it. And so Alice is the latest book that I have had come out in that series. And it's actually, we kind of sometimes write, a lot of books that I don't, not like a series within a series, but they just, the same characters show up over and over again. And that's what happened with Alice. Actually, it was not supposed to be written. So far as I know, she's the only one that's like has a girl's name on the cover. And so what happened was I was writing Caleb, and when I was writing him, his friends showed up. So suddenly there was Caleb, and there was Harry, and there was Sweeney. So then Harry's story came next, and as I was finishing Harry at the very end of the story, I think it was the epilogue even, and I was just writing it, and he was proposing, and this ghost showed up in the garden that he was proposing in. So that had not been intended. So Alice showed up, and I called Leslie and I said, because she plans out how many books, she started out with 79 ghosts. And so I can't just throw another ghost in there. And so it was like, so the guy's not a ghost, he's a billionaire, kind of a nerdy billionaire type guy. And he saw this ghost, and it was going to be their story. So I called her, I said, let me just read this to you. I read it to her. She's like, yeah, it's fine. We'll figure it out. And so that's how Alice's story began. And she was a ghost in a garden.
Leslie writes under L.L. Muir, and we've had her on the book club before. And when I first heard this idea, I just thought, oh, I wish I had thought of that, because I thought it was so genius.
Yeah.
So how many of the ghost stories have you written?
12 to 13.
And how long are they? Like, how long is Alice?
I think Alice was 60,000 words.
Okay, so it's a good size book.
Yeah, some of them are longer. Some of them just are, it ended up being a historical. Well, some of them are historicals, but I usually write the contemporaries,
Mm-hmm.
But I've written books like set after the Civil War. I've written others, in the 1880s, and same with, so yeah, I've had to dig into research before, and it's never, it's never fun.
Well, my youngest daughter, when she was born, that's when I first started writing. So
Uh-huh.
there was no internet. And I am so glad there's an internet, because you can do hours of research in just a few clicks, right? Because when I first started writing, I was writing this historical Western and
Yes.
had to go to
Going
the
to library.
library, and oh
Mhm.
my
Yeah,
gosh, it
I
was
did that
just,
too. And I can remember when Nora Roberts wrote her first book that was completely researched on the internet. And I remember when she did that and I went, yep, that's what I'm gonna do.
well, we're almost done. It's been so
Okay.
great. I just have a couple questions. What is a binge-worthy TV show that you have seen?
Uh, I'm gonna be boring on that one because everybody's probably already seen it, but Bones. Bones is like hands down, it's my go-to show.
Really? See,
Yeah.
I have not seen that. I've
Oh
probably
no, I
seen
probably
an
got to
odd
go
episode here and there,
couple
but
times at least. Yeah, I love it. I love everything about that show.
wow. Okay.
And so recently we started watching it again. And I have to laugh because they always have such hideous dead bodies, and inevitably we'll go get some food and come and sit down and watch the show. I just have to laugh that we'll be eating while they're like showing these, maggot-ridden
Horrible
corpses,
thing.
and So anyway, Bones for me for sure.
Oh, that is good. And so what's your favorite romantic movie, or one of them? It's kind of hard to pick just
Um,
one, but
yeah, that's a hard one. Again, I'll probably be boring and say Pride and Prejudice because that's got the scenes in it that I will go back and rewatch.
oh, like the
Yeah.
Colin Firth version or the Keira Knightley
A&E.
version?
I mean, I like both of them, but A&E version is to
The
die for.
quintessential.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, it's so well done. So well done.
Oh, I agree. I agree. And that's one that most romance lovers have totally seen,
Yeah.
and like me, yes, I've probably watched it, 3 dozen times. All right, last question.
Okay.
You're stranded on a desert island. Would you rather have a lifetime supply of toilet paper or chocolate?
Well, I'm a huge swimmer and I have a bidet, so and I'm gonna have to go with the chocolate. Not a problem there. And anybody who says otherwise is a liar because can you imagine being on an island you're probably eating fruit and fish? I think after a while you'd go, I wish I didn't have this toilet paper and I had chocolate instead.
Okay, yes, that's a great answer. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's been
Readers, if
fun.
you make a comment in the comment section below, you'll be entered to win an ebook copy of
Alice.
Diane's new book, Alice, which is part of the Ghosts of Culloden Moor series, which you're going to want to pick up every book. They're amazing.
Fun.
So thank you so much. And it's just been so nice to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good to catch up with you too.